Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Kill Cheese. All right, intro music brought to you by Jacob.
As always.
As always. And I'm Libby.
The wife. I'm Jacob, the husband.
That was so weird.
The bread and the cheese over here.
The bread and who's the bread, who's the cheese?
They can figure that out. Today, it's a little bit, well, most of them are spooky or horror stories, blah, blah, blah. Today is called Digesting Darkness. Other music by Libby. By Daniel P. Douglas. What do you think this is going to be about? You know that some people can't see you. You're just doing hand signals.
I'm shrugging my shoulders. I don't know what this is going to be about. I've never read this before. Digesting Darkness. That's something else right there.
She's special. I still love her, though.
Okay. Talking about me in third person.
It's fine. But either way, let's start this little story.
Containing sensitive content.
Oh, it is containing. Oh, fuck off. Don't be a pussy.
Wow.
Shut up.
It doesn't specify what kind of sensitive content.
I bet we're about to find out.
I bet so too.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
The first time I ate someone's grief, it was an accident.
8?
8, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Chewed and swallowed 8 or metaphorically?
Yeah, fucking chewed that shit up, boy. My aunt had just died, and my cousin couldn't stop crying at the funeral. She clutched her mother's wedding ring so tight her knuckles grew white. When she hugged me, she pressed the ring into her palm.
Into his palm. My palm.
Oh, into my palm. There you go.
I'm here for it, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I read it along, too.
Even though I tell her not to. Either way.
I can't help it.
I know you can't, whatever. I can't look at it anymore, she said. Just take it away. I slipped it into my pocket, and something strange happened on the drive home. A warm sensation spread through my gut, like I swallowed a shot of good whiskey. By the time I parked in my driveway, I felt freaking amazing, light, almost euphoric. Meanwhile, my cousin called to thank me. She'd finally slept through the night. It's like a weight lifted, she said.
That's concerning.
The ring man. What is that little thing called? Golem? What's Golem when you need him?
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Do what? Do what?
My precious.
Oh my God. My precious. I didn't make the connection until 2 weeks later. I was stress eating a gas station cherry cupcake. A gas station cherry cupcake?
Disgusting.
Hey, I've never even fucking seen one of those. The kind with that nuclear red icing that stains everything it touches. Okay.
Why would you do that?
The ring remained in my pocket, and when I pulled it out to look at it, some of that sticky icing smeared across the metal. Without thinking, I licked it clean, and when the ring touched my tongue, it dissolved, melting like cotton candy while that same warmth flooded my system. Only stronger this time. Much stronger.
Did it taste like metal?
Probably tastes like fucking icing.
Disgusting.
That's when I understood what had happened. Somehow, I ate her grief. I don't... Okay.
How do you understand from a ring dissolving in your mouth and getting a little drunk?
Probably about to find out. 5 years passed, and I turned it into a business. Not officially, of course. You can't exactly put grief eater on a business card. I mean, you could. But word spread among the desperate. The process was simple. Bring me something that connects you to your dead loved one. Something that holds your pain. I consume it, and your grief disappears. I charge based on the intensity. $1,000 for a parent, $500 for a sibling, $250 for a grandparent. Pets were a flat $100. The pricing wasn't based on science, but on how much grief would screw me up afterwards.
So like a hangover, kind of? Maybe? Because he gets drunk. He's like a shot of good whiskey, and then
He feels a little warm. I don't think he's going to feel warm at eating grief.
I don't think so either.
But I didn't tell my clients what had happened to their grief afterward. It didn't disappear. It lived inside me. I consumed the emotional trauma of 78 dead loved ones, and each one had left something behind. A whisper, an itch, a memory. That wasn't mine. I called them the chorus.
I
have 78 different personalities.
That's alarming. Just 78 voices in your head.
Oh, some are dogs. Some barking.
Still voices.
Some are old-ass ladies just screaming.
Okay.
Like our neighbors.
This guy's going to go insane. I'm calling it.
Most days, I could handle them. They were just background noise, the mental equivalent of a TV left on in another room. But lately, they've been getting louder, more demanding. The whispers have become conversations. Conversations had escalated into arguments. Please have replaced the arguments. Let us out. Let us see them. We miss them. I ignored them and kept eating. Of course. The warmth that followed consuming grief had become addictive. Better than any drug I tried. And I tried plenty. The business was just an excuse to keep feeling that rush. He's just a fucking addict. Eat all the grief.
Literally.
Eat everything.
Getting paid to be an addict.
Ever since I was a kid, I'd had the same recurring nightmare. Being trapped inside my body, conscious but unable to move or speak, while something else controlled me from within. I'd wake up screaming, drenched in sweat, grateful to be back in control. As I got older, the nightmares became less frequent but more intense. The idea of being reduced to a passenger of my own flesh terrified me more than death itself. I'd rather cease to exist than exist as a prisoner inside my body.
I can see where this is going.
Foreshadowing. I never connected these nightmares to my new profession, never saw the warning signs, until it was too late. On a rainy Tuesday, a woman brought me her brother's baseball cap. He killed himself 3 months ago, and she hadn't slept well since. She passed me the cap with trembling hands. Will it hurt, she asked, her fingers still gripping the frayed edge. Not you, I said. When she left, I locked the door and stuffed the cap into my mouth. The fabric dissolved against my tongue, releasing a bitter wave of sorrow that made my eyes water. I chewed faster. The sooner I got it down, the sooner the pain transferred into that familiar warmth. Except this time, something different had happened. As the last threads disappeared down my throat, I heard a man's voice, clear as day, say, finally. Finally what? What's finally?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
Here in about a second. And then my hands weren't my hands anymore.
Of course.
Who saw that one coming?
Who saw that one?
I tried to move them, but they stayed flat on the desk. Flat on the desk, her hands are. I tried to stand, but my legs ignored me. My breathing sped up, but I wasn't the one speeding it up. You've been so selfish, the voice said, keeping us all in here, not letting us reach them. I tried to respond, but my mouth wouldn't open. Panic crawled up my spine as I realized what was happening. I was still here, still conscious, but I wasn't in control anymore. I was a passenger in my own body.
Just like your nightmares. Who saw that one coming? Crazy.
My lifelong nightmare was unfolding in real time. The terror I'd woken from 100 times was now my waking reality. It's our turn now, another voice said in my head. A woman's voice, elderly, unfamiliar. You kept us quiet long enough. The next few hours were a blur of psychological torture. My body moved without my permission. My hands opened drawers, searched through files, and found my client list. My mouth formed words that weren't mine, practicing different voices, different cadences. The chorus was figuring out how to drive.
Damn.
It's fucked up, man.
That's crazy.
They let me surface just enough to feel the horror of my situation. I screamed, but they pushed me back down into the darkness. The claustrophobia of being caged inside my skull was worse than any physical pain I've ever experienced. Like being buried alive but still able to watch the world through a window.
Damn.
That fucking sounds terrible.
That sentence, that's just that little paragraph. The claustrophobia. I'm already claustrophobic. That's like,
I know you are. By nightfall, they had a plan. I woke up on my kitchen floor surrounded by shattered glass. The clock said 3:47 a.m. I lost 9 hours. My phone showed 17 missed calls from unknown numbers. There was blood under my fingernails, and my mouth tasted like copper and salt. When I tried to stand, the world tilted sideways. What the hell? I said, but the words felt wrong in my mouth, like my tongue had forgotten how to shape them. We've been waiting for this, a voice that wasn't mine said. It was coming from inside my head, but it wasn't a thought. It was someone else. Someone new. For someone who could hold enough of us.
Enough of us.
Baseball man. Baseball cap.
Who was this guy?
I stumbled to the bathroom and flipped on the light. In the mirror, my face looked wrong. My expressions weren't mine. My eyes focused and unfocused, as if someone else was controlling them. No, I said. This isn't happening. Oh, but it is, the voice replied. You've been so generous, making space for us, and now we are going to return the favor. My hand rose to my face, but I wasn't the one moving it. I tried to scream, but my lips stayed sealed. My worst nightmare had always been this, losing control, being trapped inside while someone else drove. And that was happening. This wasn't a metaphor or an exaggeration. This was a literal manifestation of the terror that haunted my sleep since childhood, come to life into the waking world.
Yikes.
Don't fight it. Don't fight us. We're just taking over your body.
As if he could fight it. What can he do? He can't even move.
Very true. Don't fight it, whispered another voice, a woman this time. You'll just make it worse. And suddenly the chorus wasn't background noise anymore. They were front and center, rising like a flood, and I was drowning in them. They took my body out for a test drive, and I remained conscious for every terrible moment of it. I saw everything through my eyes, but I was just a passenger now. They used my voice to talk to each other, arguing over who got control next. The brother should go first, said my mouth in a voice that wasn't mine. He's the newest. He hasn't seen his sister yet. My head nodded without my permission. 15 minutes each, said another voice using my vocal cords, until we figure out a better system. They were dividing me up like I was a timeshare property. Damn. Fucking timeshare. And there was nothing I could do but watch. The suffocating horror of being reduced to an observer in your own life is impossible to describe to someone who hasn't experienced it. My body drove to a woman's house, the one who brought me her brother's cap yesterday. The chorus knew where she lived. Her brother knew. They rang the doorbell. When she answered, her face transferred from confusion to terror. Tommy, she said. Hey, sis, my mouth said in her brother's voice. I'm back. She backed away, shaking her head. No, you're that person. The one who took the cap. What are you doing? It's complicated, my mouth said. Let's get a little bit chills. I really did.
Really?
Yes. It's complicated, my mouth said. But I need to see you, to tell you it wasn't your fault. What wasn't her fault?
Him killing himself?
True. I forgot about that part. They were using me like a puppet, and I couldn't even scream. Every childhood fear of possession, every adult anxiety about losing autonomy, it was all playing out in high definition. This wasn't just a nightmare. It was a nightmare that defined me. The woman was crying now. This isn't funny. You need to leave. Remember that summer at Lake Michigan when I pushed you off the dock and you lost your new sunglasses? I said a fish took them. Her face went pale. Nobody knew about that. I did. I do. My hand reached out to touch her face. I need you to do something for me now. What? She whispered. I need you to give him something else. Something with more grief in it. My journal. It's under the mattress. No, I screamed inside my head. Don't listen to him. But of course, she couldn't hear me. Nobody could. I sat trapped in the passenger seat of my own body, watching if they used me to collect more grief, more memories, more souls to add to the chorus. Over the next 3 days, they visited 7 of my clients. Each time, the newest member of the chorus took control to convince their loved ones to hand over more grief-soaked items. Some were suspicious, but most were so desperate to believe they were communicating with their dead that they did whatever they asked. The pattern remained the same. My body would show up unannounced. My voice would say things only the dead person could know. My hands would take whatever they offered, journals, photographs, wedding rings, even clothing, and then my mouth would consume them, adding each new voice to the chorus.
Wait. How are they adding new voices to the chorus when it's the same person's stuff? I'm kind of confused.
Let's reread it. That paragraph, I don't know. The pattern remained the same. My body would show up unannounced. My voice would say things only the dead person could know. My hands would take whatever they offered, journals, photographs, wedding rings, even clothing. And then my mouth would consume them, adding each new voice to the chorus. Maybe it's more versions of himself, or making that same person stronger.
Maybe.
Because more grief instead of one object. Maybe there's multiple of each one. I don't know. I'm sure we're about to find out. Oh, here we go. With each new object I consumed against my will, the chorus grew stronger. There you go. They just got stronger. I felt myself shrinking, compressed into a smaller and smaller corner of my mind. The nightmare was consuming me, becoming more real with each passing hour. By the 4th day, I only got control for minutes at a time, usually when they were sleeping.
They sleep.
That's weird.
That is weird.
During these brief windows, I tried everything to fight back. Pain, alcohol, even smashing my head against the wall. Nothing worked. They just laughed and took back control, their voices overlapping in a discord of mockery. The only time they let me surface was when they needed me to know something, like tonight. As my body lay on my bed, staring at the ceiling with eyes that no longer belonged to me. We're going to the cemetery tomorrow, explained the first voice. My cousin's mother. We've decided it's time to expand our operation. What do you mean? I thought of them. Fresh grief is the sweetest, said another voice. We're going to find those in mourning, offer our services directly. No, I thought. I won't let you. They laughed, a cacophony of unique tones, all using my vocal cords. You don't have a choice anymore. You're just a vessel now. It's a literal nightmare. That's most people's nightmares. Having no control and just in
That's awful.
passenger of your car, of your own body.
Oh, getting the claustrophobia.
And I realized they were right. I've been so focused on fighting for control that I hadn't considered the alternative. Maybe I couldn't drive anymore, but I could still crash the car. While they debated their plans, I reached deep inside myself to the place where my own grief lived. Not their grief, mine. The pain I've been running from my whole life. I found the memory of my father's death. The overdose I discovered when I was 14. My mother's suicide 2 years later. The friend who died in my apartment while I was buying out more drugs for us. All the grief I've never processed, never acknowledged, never consumed. That's a lot of fucking grief for one person.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
And I guess his grief's going to be fucking worse than theirs. He's going to try to fight with grief. I pulled it up like poison from a well. And before the chorus realized what I was doing, I turned it on them. Grief is a living thing. It grows, changes, evolves. And when you feed it, it gets stronger. My grief flooded through the mental space the chorus occupied. As the grief-feeding entities touched them, they screamed. Entities unfamiliar with grief themselves. They only been the echoes, the impressions left behind, but they have never been the source.
Okay.
Stop, they shrieked as my grief engulfed them. You wanted grief, I told them. Here it is, all you can eat. Fucking buffet, bitches. What are you doing? I forced every painful memory through my consciousness, every loss, every regret, every moment of despair I've ever experienced. I spent my life running from these feelings, but now I embraced them. They were my weapons. The chorus splintered under the assault. Some voices faded altogether, others fragmented into whispers. A few of the strongest pushed back, trying to regain control, but the assault weakened them. For the first time in days, I moved my hand when I wanted to. I dragged myself to the bathroom, teeth clenched against the battle, still raging in my mind. In the mirror, my face was gaunt, eyes bloodshot. I looked like I'd aged a decade. But they were my eyes again, at least for now. This isn't over, hissed one of the remaining voices. We'll wait. We'll grow stronger again. No, I said aloud, my voice is hoarse but my own. You won't.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I opened the medicine cabinet and removed a pocket knife.
Oh, no. No.
Oh, Lord, where is it going?
Oh, no.
The one my grandfather gave me before he died. The one object he's going to assume his own grief was going to do, I think. The one my grandfather gave me before he died. The one object I never consumed despite its grief potential because it was too precious. I put it in my mouth. The cold metal touched my tongue. I bit down, feeling it dissolve, but this time, instead of swallowing the grief, I focused on my grandfather's love, the pride in his eyes when he gave me this knife. How he taught me to whittle. Wonderful memories accompanied the pain. The knife dissolved into a burst of emotion, not just grief, but joy, love, pride, nostalgia. And I realized my mistake in all these years. Grief. It's not the pain that destroys you. It's all the love that's suddenly homeless, pounding on your ribcage, demanding somewhere to exist. And by consuming only the pain, I've been creating these hungry ghosts, these fragments of people consumed of sorrow. I opened my mouth, ready to tell them this revelation, but there was no response. The chorus had gone silent. For now, at least.
Are they gone?
Hmm?
Are they gone?
I doubt it. Maybe, though. The next morning, I purged my apartment of all grief objects I collected over the years, not by eating them, I never do that again, but by returning them to the families they belong to. Some people were angry when I shut up at their doors. Others were confused. A few even begged me to take their grief back. I wouldn't. Each returned object lifted a weight from me. With every tearful conversation, every awkward explanation, every apology, the voices in my head grew fainter. Not gone completely. I can still hear them sometimes, especially at night, but more like memories than invaders. I thought of them not as people they once were, but as wounds that needed healing, but both theirs and mine. For the first time in months, I slept without an old nightmare. The terror of being trapped in my own body had lost its power over me. Not because it wasn't frightening anymore, but because I lived through the real thing and survived. I faced my worst fear and come out the other side. I stopped taking clients, moved to a different neighborhood, and changed my phone number. But people still found me, desperate for relief from their pain. Instead of eating their grief, I listened to their stories. Sometimes that was enough. Sometimes it wasn't. But it was honest work, at least. A week after my liberation, a man brought me his daughter's teddy bear, Cancer. She was 7.
Oh.
It's awful.
That's awful.
Can you take it away, he asked, tears streaming down his face. I can't live with this pain. I sat with him for hours as he talked about her favorite ice cream flavor, the way she insists on wearing mismatched socks, how brave she was at the end. Before he left, I told him the truth, that grief is just love with nowhere to go, that the pain he felt was the other side of how much he loved her, that healing doesn't mean forgetting. Keep the bear, I said. She loved it, and you loved her. Let it hurt for now. Eventually it'll hurt less, but you still have the love. As he walked away clutching the bear, I felt something shift inside me. A few more voices in the chorus faded, replaced by a peaceful silence. I still don't know exactly what I am or how this strange ability works, but I know what I am not anymore. I am not a grief eater. I'm just someone who's learning, finally, to digest my own.
That was
Fucking
a beautiful story.
full circle, man.
That was a great story. I had so many levels.
It really did. Comments time. Let's see what we got here. This is some really cool work. You managed to write a piece that was perfect blend of horror and heartwarming. It's exceptionally executed, an intense and soul-searching journey from grief back to love.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting story. Read for read. I don't know what that means. Just learned about the grief eater from Irish mythology. I was thinking about including something about it in my novel. I don't know what the grief eater Irish mythology is.
I don't either.
Let's find out real quick.
So I guess this isn't an original idea.
Irish mythology portrays death and grief through figures like the banshee, whose wail. I said banshee.
Banshee.
Banshee. So I'm saying whatever. Whose wails herald mortality, and through rituals like the wake, which blends mourning with celebration. I've heard the banshee before. The wake, yeah. Any other good comments? I want you to know I am metaphorically on the floor, laid out flat, having read this. Absolutely beautiful, all of it. The metaphor of eating grief, the existence of the chorus, spine-chilling, but by the way, the description of grief as love, as homeless. Its horror is heartwarming. It's the duality of human emotions. And then on the last comment, oh, my non-existent heart.
Wow. Okay.
It's a good story, though.
Very good.
What's this? Let me double. It is Digesting Darkness. It'll be a link in the description, of course. Digesting Darkness by Daniel P. Douglas. It's a great one.
That was a great one.
But everybody if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, you can find us on all the audio places, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. For clips, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter /X.
You can find us everywhere.
You can't escape us.
Never.
Next week is all Libby. I don't know what we told y'all yet, but every week we will swap with stories. I'll do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, as I just did. And next week she will do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
There you go.
So we swap every week. So all next week will be Miss Libby. But that is it, everybody. We will hope you all have a good Saturday. And we will see y'all on Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.